Yes, I did buy this hat specifically for this run. Don't judge me. Hi, welcome. This is Ponpu. Thank you very much, everyone, for hanging out during this early morning indie block. There's been a lot of really cool games already, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this one as well. This is a duck-based, not a goose-based, Bomberman-type game. So we'll be playing as one of these four lovely Pompus that you see before you. There was a donation incentive, actually, for which one we're picking. And the fun twist on that is the other three that we don't pick are going to be our enemies for the rest of the game. So which Pompu colored got picked, Char Bunny?
Well, I'm happy to say that in total, we raised over $1,000 for charity just picking this color. But the winning color is going to be blue.
Awesome. Blue is actually my favorite of the Pompus, so I appreciate everyone has good taste as well in their color of Pompus, so we'll be going with that. Also, we have our choice of which special egg to choose for playing the game, but we'll do a remote egg. I'll mention later kind of why we do that, but it's just important to know that we did that. But yeah, so we're ready to get going. Starting here in 3, 2, 1, go. I don't know why I just split like I have my splits up. Welcome to Ponpu. We are in the Duck Galaxy. This is Mystery Duck at the bottom here. Long story short for the plot, Mystery Duck, we were working for someone called the God Duck, and he's like, yo, but what if you just like went after him instead and like beat up all his lackeys and then beat him up? And we're like, well, I used to work for him, but you know what? It sounds like a good argument, so we're gonna go do this anyways and travel across these different planets and go do some stuff. So yeah, we kind of rushed through the tutorial there, but you have a button for dropping bombs. I know, very unexpected. You also have a stun button, but the stun button also lets you launch bombs, it lets you stun enemies, lets you shield, lets you flip bombs. It pretty much lets you do everything. It can file taxes, it can mow your lawn for you, it can pretty much do whatever you want. So it's used a lot during the run. A few things that I didn't teach you during the tutorial is you can dash, which is, as you can imagine, very useful for speedrunning. You're kind of capped on how many dashes you can do in a short period of time, but you can do a decent bit. You just want to not mash it because then you end up wasting dashes. This entire world itself is kind of more of a bit of a tutorial on all the mechanics of the game. Each of these levels, except for the boss levels, which will be ending each of these worlds, we'll be grabbing a key and then going back to the exit where the door is. We dived into a pit there, which seems like a bad thing to do. But the game actually forces you to go into the pit later on. There's like a whole cutscene that happens when you fall through the bridge. So instead, we just kind of launch ourselves in there anyways to avoid that. One thing to note, I will mention for the bosses, is the bosses do kind of flicker between white and black as we hit them. The bosses are smaller in the beginning of the run, but the final boss especially is pretty large, so if you are photosensitive in any sort of way, just be careful with that for each of the bosses. I'll make sure to mention it for the final boss especially, but I want to make a warning now before we get too far into it, before we start. But yeah, we're just doing the long walk to the first boss here, which is Lump Lord McQuack, which, as all of us know, because we have encyclopedic knowledge of DuckTales, is a reference to Ripcord McQuack, which is a character that appears twice in DuckTales. So, you know. But he's a hairy toad. He kind of just stands there and lets you hit him for a bit and then jumps around. So we have to kind of keep chasing after him. After you hit him enough, he starts chasing you, so you can just leave bombs where he's about to land to do more damage. You can also blow yourself up for fun if you want to. That is an option. One thing I really like about the art style for this game is everything's pretty black and white, but like the nice colored highlights, especially for the eyes, and just kind of like the semi-grotesque, I guess, art style, especially for the boss is nice, and the dancing Pompu animation. So yeah, that is the first boss. That'll take us out of Toad Cave. So we're kind of out of the tutorial section of where it's teaching us stuff, so the bosses will get more difficult. Sections of the game will get a little tougher. But we do have our first of the first level skips, which, as you can imagine, skips the first level for each of these worlds. The game actually erroneously gives you progress to the second level if you leave at the beginning of the first level. And usually that wouldn't be too much of a problem because you have to complete all 4 levels anyways to go to the next world. But if you complete the second world, you're not normally supposed to be able to get to the second world without beating the first one, so it just gives you progress for the first world. So we're able to skip 4 levels just doing that by quitting out once we enter the first level. So now we're in the forest area. We have all these lovely stump enemies chasing after us that can shoot at us as we go by. We've got these spike traps too. See, that's just an example. I got hit on purpose there, of course. But this is our first AI fight. Thankfully, it's only 1 Ponpu, but later on there'll be more. And when there's only 1 Ponpu, you can kind of stun lock them. And this is the remote bomb that we picked at the beginning. It is a special bomb we can place, and we can blow it up whenever we want to. And it also has a huge explosion radius, so we'll be using it later when we want to hit a bunch of things, but it's kind of nice to hit them right as their iframes drop so we can keep chaining them together. For some reason, also, the other Pompus are much stronger than us health-wise, so when there's more and more of them, it kind of gets a bit chaotic. But now we're going into Scary Forest 3. Like before, we're going to use falling into a pit to our advantage. So once we go all the way over here and get the key, see there's like some nondescript leaves over there, but if you walk over them, you fall down. And it's about the same speed, actually, using this to send ourselves all the way back to here. But it's a lot safer, and if you get hit by any of the turrets on the way back, it's slower. So just by doing that, you're able to circumvent all the enemies and, you know, not have to deal with them at all. So that's going to bring us to the second boss of the game, which is Colonel Tane, which is... I don't really know how you describe this boss. It's very interesting. It's very unique. Very, very Ponpu. It's another frog, but it's like also like a hermit crab thing, but also it has tentacles. It's kind of tough to see. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's very interesting. So it chases after you with these tentacles. Wherever you're standing, it'll try to hit you with them. And then after you dodge a certain amount of them, he'll become vulnerable. You can hit him. And then we have this last phase where there's these waves of tentacles. And if you do this shuffling motion back and forth, you can stop. Usually there's a large wave of tentacles, but once it hits something, it stops. So by doing this, we only have 1 tentacle spawn each time, and the boss becomes vulnerable really quick. So we're able to get through that pretty quickly. And without too much difficulty. And we get to see Ponpu dance again. So we're going to go to the next world. We're going to do another first level skip again. But if we do have time for a couple donations in the meanwhile, if you have a few.
Oh, we do. That Ponpu dance is so adorable, though. I'm in love. We have $5 from Slyn, who says, quack. I guess they did realize that there's a difference between a duck and a goose.
I appreciate that.
We all... I think we also found the reason we're playing is blue. I have a $65 donation from Joy, who just says, blue duck, smiley face, which does look like it was just enough to snipe the color. So thank you, Joy, for the blue that we're enjoying right now. And I have $5 from Cassie, who says, Hulk. It's spelled with a Q-U-E, so I hope I pronounced that correctly.
That sounds about right.
I also, I'll do my best with it. We also have $50 from the Battle Professor, who says, we will be asleep for Ponpu, crying face. We wanted to at least show a little favorite color green love and wish Bones the world of luck on their run. We will definitely be watching the YouTube replay. I'm sorry you didn't win green, but blue's doing pretty well. I think it's going well for us here.
We'll see green later on, don't you worry. Green is still in this game. So this is Lump again, back for another refight. We refight a decent few of the earlier bosses in later levels. In this refight, he's just kind of jumps faster. He looks a little different. He kind of squishes the same. We don't get to see the dance yet. We have to earn it later. But each of these bosses will drop a key. Oh, you also can just like fade inside of them and forget where you are, but that's more of a me problem. But yeah, so we're in Tech++, which is one of the harder areas actually of the game, especially Tech 3. Which is the next level we're going to. There's turrets here now. There's buzzsaws that move really quickly as you try to go by. A lot of cycles on this next level we're going on as well, so it's pretty easy to die because you have to go pretty far on the level without getting hit. It's like that first buzzsaw can be a little spooky. And if you go a little bit too far, the controls for this game, you kind of go like a tile further than you think you will when you move forward, so you have to be aware of that. So we're in the next AI fight though. We have two Pompus. We have yellow and red. So whichever Pompus we don't pick start appearing here. So you can get the two Pompus stuck between here, and they will just keep going back and forth like this. And then once you do enough, we actually want to get hit here because we don't want our health to be full. Why am I facing that way? That's interesting. So facing the person you're trying to hit is actually pretty useful when you're trying to hit them with your eggs. So we're gonna grab this key and we're gonna fall down here. Again, going through the pits a little bit faster, though it is kind of spooky. You can't see quite as well, and once we go through here, this turret will try to shoot us right as we go by, so you have to dash as soon as you get in front of it, or else you get hit. And then if you die in these levels without getting a checkpoint, which we've not really hit any checkpoints yet, but it'll become important later, you have to redo the entire level from the start with no progress saved. So it's pretty spooky for the levels we don't get checkpoints. Even the levels we do get checkpoints for, usually it's a lot of backtracking. So try to avoid dying, because dying is slow except when it's fast. And the boss of Tech++ is pretty difficult as well. We'll have to fight him a couple times. Is the lead developer. The developer is always the enemy of speedrunners. So we will be trying to do a strat at the beginning here where you can actually clip inside of this force field he's got. And it allows you to do damage before he's vulnerable. And then he'll go to one of these sides and he'll be able to do some damage. So how he normally attacks is he walks towards you, but when you go inside of his force field, he just kind of stands there and is confused because you're not really supposed to do that. It's kind of against the rules, but Ponpu does not obey the rules. Now we're at this later phase. He'll do these rings of squares, which kind of sounds like an oxymoron. Anyways, so you've got these different layers of squares and you wait for them to go away and then you blow them up and then he explodes. And we get a dance. So Ponpu dance is one of the main reasons we're in this game. So hey, if you want to see Ponpu dance a bunch, you can always pick this run up. We do have time for a couple more donations as well as we're doing another first level skip at the beginning of Ironstone here.
Ponpu looks so adorable. I can't believe he's doing illegal speedrunning things to cheat the programmer. That's so mind-blowing. We do have some donations. We have $100 from Aranzo Far Away, who says, "Love what the community does year after year. Best of luck to all the remaining runs." And we have $50 from Serdan1987, who says, "This has been an amazing week thus far, and I've been enjoying everything that has been happening. From the gameplay to the commentary, it always leads to a great time. Keep up the great work, runners. Let's finish off strong for charity." And then I have some Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, there's been a lot of great runs this year. A lot of really good runs I've been enjoying watching.
It's been so awesome. My favorite weeks of the year. And then I have some donations with no comment that I do want to shout out. We have $100 from JustB22, we have $100 from Vixville, and we have $100 from Quarry Hack as well. So thank you so much to everyone for all of your support here.
So this is Colonel Tin again. Though we can actually do a strat this fight that we normally wouldn't. Actually, we're gonna get hit here. There we go. So we want to do a death warp after this fight, so we're gonna tactically be bad. Oh, I didn't count. That seems like about 10. It's close enough. You're supposed to count to 10, but unfortunately, counting is fairly difficult, so I've not learned that skill in speedrunning yet. So dying is bad until it's good, like I said before. That was unfortunately a bad death because I forgot how to count and then ran into a tentacle. It's all right. So what we're doing here is we are grabbing a checkpoint that's a bit out of the way, and then we're going and doing the boss fight so that afterwards we can die and just get teleported back. The reason I was counting the amount of hits for this fight is when you do 11 hits of damage, since the boss has 20 health, it goes into kind of its angry mode, and it will start doing the waves of tentacles, which is really slow and not fun. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go, counting. So we want to avoid that. So we do exactly 10 damage and then exactly 10 damage this time around as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, good job. We counted together, chat. We did it. All right, so he's dead again. So we're gonna grab the key and then explode to tactic warp back. So by getting a checkpoint, we get to keep the key. Actually, also enemies that we kill will stay dead if we get a checkpoint. So you get to save a lot of your progress because of that. It just kind of also moves your location once you die, so it could be nice for getting to the exit pretty quickly. So that's the first time we use it, but in later levels we do it kind of to a larger extent where we're teleporting across a decent amount of the level after we die. But we do have the third level of Ironstone here. This is going to be another AI fight during this. The game is very methodical. Like every second level is a boss refight, every third level is an AI fight. So, and every fourth level is a boss fight, except when it's not. The final level of the game is kind of a big gauntlet, so we'll be getting to that in hopefully less than 30 minutes. So one thing I haven't mentioned yet is there's these cool rainbow feathers on the ground, and you might be curious, what are these cool rainbow feathers for? What kind of thing can we unlock with it? Well, nothing. They're just kind of there. They actually kind of get in your way a little bit because if you pick them up, you're locked in the animation of Ponpu going, ooh, cool, a feather. And that will cause you to get hit by your own bombs if you try to blow something up and then walk by, or enemies hitting you. Red, what are you doing? Stop it. Okay. The strat was working great, and then Red just decided to gain sentience for a little bit and ignore it. We actually want to take hits here. I promise this is actually on purpose this time. Because as soon as we grab this key, we want to blow ourselves up and back boost ourselves. We're going to do a backwards long jump all the way back here. We have some big turrets now. We got some small turrets. They do the same damage, but next world they're really spooky and dangerous, but I'll talk about that once we get there. We're gonna get ourselves hit again, because then the ducks can't hurt us. So we can break the turret and get through without taking extra damage or getting stunned. But now we're gonna get to the boss of Ironstone, which if you've played some other obscure indie game, you might recognize this boss. I don't want to spoil it though for folks that haven't played it yet, but you may potentially... The name's a pretty obscure reference, but a few gamers might pick it out. It has actually been in a GQ before, fun fact. But yeah, so for this fight with Mike Duckson, we will be blocking these punches and then doing damage during his invulnerabilities. After you block a couple punches, you try something different. So once we do this, you realize that getting hit with eggs kind of hurts. So he's going to punch us again. Oh, no. Faked me out. Gonna punch us again, but we move right as he's trying to jab us. And then he does one last thing where you have to dash pretty much right as he's about to hit you. Like you saw right there, I dashed as his fist was coming down, but just a little bit too early. The timing for the dash at the very end there is kind of spooky, because if he hits you, he does 2 hearts of damage. It's the only thing that does 2 hearts of damage the entire run. So if you get hit there, it's really painful and not good, and you probably die. So we will see him again though. We have Ice Mountain coming up. This is a good time to squeeze in the last couple donations before we get into the real tough parts of the run.
Perfect. I have $30 from Pineapple Ladybug, who says, SGDQ has made the heat wave in Finland much more bearable. Thank you everyone for the great event once again. Remember to stay hydrated and stretch. And then I have a very straightforward one from Anton Bull for $100, who just says, Go Games!
That's great. So the main reason Ice Mountain is scary is that the turrets have now been equipped with frozen water technology, and if they hit you with, whoops, that's not where that's supposed to go. If they hit you with one of the missiles, you actually get frozen, but you don't get iframes. So what ends up happening is you get frozen, you try to break out of the ice, and then the turret just hits you again, so you take 2 damage. At least it hitting you breaks you out of the ice. So, like I said, we're kind of squishy. We only have 3 hearts. So the fact that, oh, that's a buzzsaw. Buzzsaw's hurt as well, in case, oh, so this is how it feels to get frozen and then hit the missile afterwards. That was kind of a mess. I dropped a bomb by accident and it kind of blocked my way. So it's all right. I just wanted to show you how it looked to get frozen, because that's not going to happen for the rest of the run, ever. Hopefully not. We'll see. This is the lead developer again. They're back. Similar fight from before, but because we're doing a death warp afterwards, we actually do want to, again, do the strat of clipping inside of them to make sure we're doing damage. And then just keep following him around, trying to do some more hits. You want to stay close to him when he's snapping to you here, but you don't want to get too close because he'll just run into you. His hitbox is a little bit bigger than it actually looks. So we're gonna hit again there, so that we're damaged, so we can die as soon as the fight is over. And there we go, cool. So he's gone, he's exploded again. Drop the key for us and we can get out of here. And just another checkpoint warp, death warp sort of thing. The ending of this level looks really scary, but we're using a strat here called moving forwards, and if you move forwards, you don't get hit by anything, so it really helps out. We have Ice Mountain 3, though, coming up, which is ridiculously hard compared to the rest of the run. It is a very long checkpoint warp we have to do, and there's tons of turrets that can freeze us and kill us. We have the first 3 AI fights, so we have to fight 3 AI, each with 5 HP. All at once, and we have to kill all of them, or it doesn't count, we have to refight them again. If we die, they will respawn otherwise. So we're gonna go up here and get the checkpoint. This is where the exit is. So at this point, we need to not die until we get the key, which is many rooms away. There's lots of things here that can hit us. These stumps, if you dash by them, they have a chance of just sniping you as you go by, unlike that one tried to do. Ooh, don't get hit by these turrets because we'll get frozen. Every single turret in this game from this point on is a nice turret, so. This short little room we have to clear out, which isn't too bad unless these stumps decide to wander. But yeah, this is the 3 AI fight. We're going to try to do kind of interesting strat of baiting the enemies to stand in a line here. Whoops, I forgot to put my remote bomb down. So the nice thing about the remote bomb is it can hit all 3 of these Pompus at once. If they're positioned correctly. Currently, they're being chaotic messes, and I just blew myself up as well. So this is kind of spooky. Okay, I think they're lining up now. They're behaving, question mark. I don't know what's happening anymore. I don't like this. So usually they eventually behave and stand in a line. Please don't get me, thank you. If you get stunned by an enemy, you have a very short period of time where you can reflect the bomb after you get unstunned before they hit you. There's green Ponpu that way. Oh, they're gone now, but they were there if you looked really closely before they exploded. Please. Yellow's just kind of being a hazard, thank you. Oh, he's not dead. This can happen sometimes at the end of the fight. One of the Pompus just has a lot more health. And we're not even out of the woods yet. We have a room full of enemies we have to avoid getting hit by. So we have to stand exactly here, let them shoot, go here, and then blow ourselves up. So we didn't die the entire time there. If we had died, we'd have to do the entire section over. And now we gotta go through here, and there's lots of turrets again, and lots of enemies, and pits you can fall in where we have to just die if it happens. We have this stump here we need to clear out of the way. Some buzzsaws. And we have to stand here to blow this turret up. There we go. So that is the hardest level right there. It's really stressful doing the entire checkpoint warp there, but it actually went really well. So pretty happy with that. If you die while doing that checkpoint warp during the AI fight, you lose like an entire minute each time you die there. So it can be rough. It's definitely, when they're acting chaotic like they did, it can be a bit of a challenge. So this is Frost Rider, potentially a Battletoads reference, possibly. He's on a motorcycle. I've been researching Battletoad, to prepare for this fight. As the motorcycle comes in, you can reflect it. Whoops, that's the wrong way. You can reflect it, flip it over, and it'll be vulnerable, because when it's driving around, it's not usually vulnerable. He also drops these smoke clouds everywhere, and if you run into them, your controls get spun around, which is not good at all. It's really bad when that happens. It's tough to figure out what to do. Where is he? Oh, well, he stopped way over there. We could probably get one hit in, maybe. No, not even that. He will stop at like a semi-random point. So I usually try to like run along with him. Okay, he ran for a really long time there. Usually doesn't... Wow, okay, well, this is... Usually he doesn't drive around as long as he does. But he's having a good time. There we go. So, Frost Rider was kind of chaotic as well, but, it's a marathon. It's what happens. So after this, we are going with one more Ponpu dance left after this. We are going to the final gauntlet of the run. The last world only has one level, but it is a really large, pretty hefty level. So a lot to get through with it. It's going to start off with another 3 AI fight, which, as you saw last time, can kind of very quickly turn into a mess and be very painful. And this arena is huge as well. One thing I've not mentioned is the Ponpu AI like to just wander sometimes. They sometimes get lost and forget their purpose, and they just kind of go places. Or they get stuck stunning each other like they're doing over there. Please, please do something. All right, I'm gonna try to get them to line up here. There we go. Green is lost again. Okay, good. This is what we want to have happen. So the one in the back will always try to go to the front to get to try to shoot us, and the other ones will kind of just be stuck in place. You can shuffle them along like that and get rid of them pretty quickly. This is what we wanted to have happen for the other AI fight, so it's nice that it at least happened for a little bit. So this is Mike Duxton again. Same fight, but you have to fight after being injured by the AI. So at this point, we are one hit if we get hit by the final attack that he has. So we have to be a little careful. By careful, I mean just go fast and hope nothing bad happens. So again, just be damage during this. To dodge the jab after this one. I shot a little early there, so we missed a little bit of damage. But if you miss too much damage, you do have to do this dodge twice. But we should be good. All right. Mike Duxton's like the only one of the bosses that doesn't just like squish into a lump after dying. He just kind of gets tired and needs a nap, which I appreciate that. It's a gold feather right there. It's the only gold feather in the entire run we get because it restores your health and gives you an extra heart. So it's nice to grab for this fight. This is the God Duck, if you remember the plot from the beginning. He's basically just a godfather, like mafia type boss. He just stands here. You have to break these barriers or blow yourself up, whichever you want to do. And we're standing in a specific spot because the AI like to get stuck behind us because they're trying to find a place they can stand to shoot us or stun us from. So they choose the area right next to us. And while we're launching bombs, we're also stunning them. Okay, Green's lost. Green's just kind of going and exploring. Having a good time, though. I think he figured out the fact that I am destroying his employer. Nope, never mind. He's just going. All right. So time is going to be when the screen goes completely white after this Ponpu dance at the end here. Shoutouts to Purple Tree for developing this. Shoutouts to everyone for hanging out just for this really cool block of indie games. That is time there. Thank you, Charbunny, for doing a great job hosting. Really appreciate that. Thank you to all the runners and everyone for putting this together, just in general. Really appreciate it. Happy to show off this game for everyone. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you have any questions or want to learn anything about the game, please do look at on Spooner.com. We have a guide that's like 20-something pages that I wrote for this game if you want to learn it. But yeah, thanks.
Wow, I know I enjoyed the run. I hope all of you did too. I was trying to dance along with Ponpu at the end, but I'm glad that hosts don't have video because I don't think I'm nearly as adorable. Although speaking of Ponpu dancing, we do have $5 from Thomas who says, "One of my favorite things about GDQ is seeing all these games I've never heard about before. That dance is so cute." It's the most adorable dance. We also have $50 from Recall, who says, "Metroid speedruns are the whole reason I was told about GDQ, so have to donate while that sweet helmet is up." And again, that helmet is up. It is a $50 minimum donation and it looks fantastic. So if you want a chance to win, get your donations in now. Don't wait too long. Don't forget. You know how sad you'll be tomorrow if you wake up and you realize, "Oh no, I forgot to donate $50 and now I don't have a chance to win that helmet." It would be pretty tragic. So donations now, don't wait. We also have $75 from Gears, who says, "Thank you yet again for an amazing week. Enjoying the games while drawing about the event is the best vacation someone can get. Put this money to Bonus Game 5 because we all need more SGDQ." Which is absolutely correct. I am not ready for SGDQ to end. I know we have a few more days of the event, but why cut it short? please consider putting your money toward that bonus game 5 that is coming up tomorrow. And oh, it's a lofty donation goal, so we're gonna need some help to get there. We are currently at $13,863 out of the needed $120,000. And we can definitely get there, chat. We've done this before, but we can't do it without your help. That number doesn't move on its own. It only moves when people like you donate. And with that, I am excited to say that we are already ready for our next run. We are speed running these setups. So please put your best clapping emotes in chat because it's time for the GDQ debut. This is a brand new game. We've never seen this on GDQ before. The GDQ debut of Wizard of Legend with runner Space Bro Jacob. Take it away.